Hi, everyone. My name is Summer Kaeppel, and this is a story of how Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn led me to nearly being incarcerated when I was 15 years old. So my best friend Amelia and I were watching a little movie called Wedding Crashers one day, and for anyone that's not familiar, basically to quickly sum it up, it's basically a movie about these two average-looking white guys that go wedding crashing every weekend in the pursuit of fun and trying to sleep with women. But in the movie, they always seem to have a great time, and they never really get caught. And this is where my story starts to differ from the movie. So when Amelia and I decided that we were going to Wedding Crash, we knew that we had to be prepared. So we went online, and we consulted only the most trusted of sources, YouTube, and one of the more esteemed websites on the internet, Yahoo Answers. And we got a lot of great information. There's 3 major things that we needed to remember before we had ventured onto wedding crashing. We needed to make sure that we dressed for the occasion. We needed to go with a card to blend in. And most importantly, we needed to make sure that we had our story straight for if we did get confronted, what our connection was to the couple. So with that knowledge in mind, we also needed to figure out how to get there because neither of us were even old enough to have a license. So I consulted one of my older sisters, Christy. I told her about this idea, and not only did she agree to drive me, she thought this idea was awesome and encouraged it. So we pick a Saturday during the prime wedding season, and we just pick a random venue that we figure is going to have a wedding going on. And we get dropped off, and we're feeling really good at this point. We're going into the lobby, Journey's Don't Stop Believing is playing, and we're feeling great at this point. There's a photo booth in the lobby, and we decide to hit that up because there's lots of fun props, and we figure this is where we'll start our night. So we take a bunch of photos, and next to the photo booth is a guest book. And for some reason, we thought it'd be a really smart idea to sign our real names in the guest book, and also, just to make it even better, put our real photos next to our real names, because apparently Yahoo Answers didn't go over that part. So from there, we decided to venture into the reception and try to hit the dance floor. That lasted about 15 seconds before we were caught, considering we were the only people that looked to be 11 years old in the venue, and we were told to leave. We basically forgot the golden rule of wedding crashing, which is to have your story straight. We absolutely did not. When asked who we were, we for some reason couldn't come up with anything. So Amelia decided to blurt out that we were co-workers of the bride. Now, unless the bride was also babysitting for the house next door, there was absolutely no way that we were co-workers with her. So that story didn't fly. They told us to leave, and we did immediately. But we still left feeling accomplished, like we did what we had to do, and we had a fun time, and we thought there was no harm done. But we were really wrong. Because what Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn don't tell you is that sometimes when you crash a wedding, the groom of said wedding might happen to be a lawyer. A really pissed off lawyer. So the next day, I'm enjoying one of my first days of summer vacation, and my sister informs me that the police are looking for me. And I've been accused of stealing money from a gift box at a wedding. So, as a very fragile 15-year-old that I was, this was not in my character at all. I had never been in trouble before, and this was probably the worst situation I could find myself in. So I spent my first day of summer vacation being literally brought downtown and placed into an interrogation room at the police station. I decided to leave my sister Christy, who encouraged this idea, at home, and brought in my other older sister, Jenna, who studied legal studies in college and is also clocked in about 10,000 hours of Dateline. So she was in her glory. So as I sat in the cold metal chair of this interrogation room, shaking and crying and mapping out how exactly this was going to ruin my entire life, Jenna sat there in her full glory, as she was born to do this, telling the cop that they can roll the tapes because nothing ever happened and they won't find anything. And she also asked a very good question of how would they even know that money was missing if money was missing? So this lovely couple actually decided to call up everyone that went to their wedding and ask them how much money they gave. And I'm not sure about you, but if I went to a wedding and got called and asked how much money I gave them, I'm probably gonna round up to the next 100. That's absolutely not an accurate way to try to get that information. But in the end, we didn't steal. They had no real evidence against us. So we just had to write an apology letter. So we did, but now that I'm an adult and I have a bit more of a backbone than I did when I was 15, I would like to add something into that apology letter. I am sincerely sorry to the bride and groom that you have such cheap-ass wedding guests that you really felt that the only plausible explanation for the sad amount of money in your money box was that I stole it. And I didn't walk away with this without learning a huge valuable lesson that every young woman learns in their life. And Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn taught me this lesson, that if you want to succeed, you must approach every situation with the same amount of confidence as an average-looking white man. Thank you.